if let's say you you buy an auction, or like bankruptcy, and you buy, and there's a non-kosher one, you can give it to the God, you can just give you can destroy. I say, I know I've studied this. So you can't benefit.
You can't benefit. You can't give it away.
You can't give it away, but you can just leave it there. I think that was what we're just saying. Say that, I can't touch this. This is not my thing. I don't know what you're going to do with this.
That's okay. It's something to look into. But we said in general, we said wine that's non-kosher wine you should not benefit from, right?
Yeah, but that was where we came down, right?
Right. Right.
But then I remember Mr.
Somebody said something.
Mr. Haver saying that he got a
bottle of wine.
Yeah, some gifts, and told the secretary or the assistant that I don't give it to me. Don't give it to me. I don't want this.
Right. He wasn't accepting it.
Yes.
So now, okay. We're on Nun Aleph or Min Aleph, 51a. So the Gemara says, Omer Rabbi Yochanan. So Rabbi Yochanan says, Ein lanu ela bo dvarim bilvad. He says, even though we listed 10 things for the Kol Shel Bracha, but he says we're very particular about 4. 4 of them, he says, seems to be the ones that they're accustomed to be very careful about. 4 out of the 10. Which 4 out of the 10 are they very careful about? The 4 are Hadacha, washing the cup out on the inside, and Shtifa, washing the cup out on the outside. Chai, that it's raw when you put it into the cup, and then you dilute it afterwards. Umale, and it's full cup of wine. Those are the 4 things that we're very careful about. Good morning, Shalom Aleichem, Morris.
Morning.
Morning. We said in the halacha, we are careful about other things as well. The halacha says you pick it up with 2 hands, you put it in your right hand, you pick it up from the table of tefach. Shouldn't be directly on the table. Should be at least 3.5 inches off the table. But no, sin ain't above. You put your eyes in it. So we have more than just. But he says that his minhag, they were very focused on 4 out of the 10. That's what they had that custom. But we have even more than that. That's one way to learn what he's saying. The Rajba understands that Rabbi Yochanan admits that really you should do all 10. But these 4 really would be ma'akev. Like these 4 are in a different level of importance. You must have it, you must make sure you wash out, or else you can't make the bracha on the cup of wine if it wasn't washed out on the inside and on the outside. And if if it's not full, he's of the opinion you can't say the bracha on it. And also, if it wasn't put in, you have to make sure that the wine did not come in diluted. It came in undiluted. That is the opinion of the Rajba, to understand what he's saying. That it's just these things. These 4 are much more important than the rest of the group. But definitely have to do all 10. That's the opinion of the Rajba. Okay, so we have many things to do about the Kol Shel Bracha. And then the Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Kol ha'mevarech al kos mole nochsen lo nachal b'mitzvah. Anybody who says the bracha on a kos mole, on a cup that's full, you'll get inheritance. There's no borders. Tremendous reward. Shenema mole. It's alluded to in the pasuk Birkas Hashem Yoram B'Daram B'Yarasha. That if it's mole, if you say a bracha on a full cup of wine, you'll get Yom V'Daram Yerusha. You get a tremendous, you'll inheritance of the west, the south. You'll inherit a tremendous borders, no borders, tremendous properties of wealth and blessing will, which is symbolic, you're symbolic of tremendous reward for doing it that way on a full cup of wine. And you will, as a result of saying the bracha on a full cup of wine, you will inherit both worlds. You will get this world. Good morning, Shmuel. Good morning. Are you? Let's see if Shmuel is in. Did you arrive? Yes, I think he's arrived. Good morning, Shmuel. So the Gemara says there's tremendous reward for a person who goes ahead, who says the bracha on a full cup of wine. The Maharsha explains that the Maharsha says that if you get to the Yam, if let's say because the pasuk says you get to the Mediterranean, so that's a place it's symbolic of a place people don't live there. It's symbolic of a place that's so vast. You're going to get such a far inheritance. Now, the commentators explain a little bit more detail about this great bracha of inheriting this world and the next world as a result of saying the bracha on the cup of wine when it's a full cup of wine. The Ramban says that the pasuk says Umalei, and if you do it on a full thing, Birkas Hashem, you'll get Birkas Hashem. Yom v'Dorom. Now, what does Yom v'Dorom? Yom means the west. Dorom is the south. So Yom, he says, it refers to Olam Haba. The next world is compared to the sea, like Rechava Mina Yom. I presume the idea is it's very vast. It's forever. The next world lasts forever. The reward is tremendous. So therefore, the sea, the Yam, the ocean represents the next world. The Dorom, the south, represents this world, because we find Eretz and Negev the Satani. By the pasuk in Yeshua refers to the Eretz, the land. The land, the physical land, is referred to as the south. However, the spiritual, the west, the ocean, it's vast like an ocean, represents the next world. So therefore, the pasuk says, "Mole." When you say a bracha on a full cup of wine, Birkas Hashem, you're going to get the Birkas Hashem Yom v'Dorom. The Yom, which is represents the next world, which is west, which is the ocean, which is vast, and the reward is so much in the next world, and it's l'nitzach l'sachem, it's forever. That the Olam Haba, that's the reward for Yom, and the Dorom. You're also going to get great reward in this world as well. I saw another pshat that Yam also is similar to the word Yom, Sadigom, that it's referred to days, like that's refers to this world. Like in a certain sense, this world is a day, is short. It's a short world. However, Dorom is like, the Rome has the word Rome. Rome means like Ram Venisa, something that's elevated. And that's the next world. The next world is elevated. Something it's tremendous, it's great. So he's learning the opposite of the Ramban. He's learning that Yom refers to Yom. You're going to get this world. You're going to get greatness in this world, reward in this world. And the Rome is the next. It's the Rome is you're going to get great reward in the next world by saying a bracha on a full cup of wine. The Rabbeinu Yonah, the Talmid Rabbeinu Yonah, say a third answer. of what's so unique. Where do we see about the great reward in this world and the next world? You see, the question is, where do we see you're going to get reward in this world and the next world as a result of saying the bracha on a full cup of wine? So, because the Gemara brings the pasuk of Yom V'daram B'Yerusha. So there's different ways how you understand the pasuk. So Rabbeinu Yonah brings the name of Rabbeinu Sarfas, that the pasuk really refers to this world. It's talking about Naphtali, the tribe of Naphtali. Yom V'daram B'Yerusha, his inheritance he'll have in the west, he'll have in the south. That's referring to physical inheritance that he's going to have. But the main reward of mitzvos, we know, this world is not given for reward. This world is called an olam hamaseh, a world of action. The next world is the world of reward, of getting the reward. So really the Gemara says reward, there's no real reward, is not really in this world. All the reward that Hashem gives you in this world is to enable you, the Rambam says, when Hashem gives a tzaddik, a righteous person reward, or a good person reward, it's to help him continue doing the good things. It's not reward for what he did. It's not the payment for the mitzvah. It's just the ability, say a righteous person is blessed, a good person is blessed with wealth, financial stability, that gives him the opportunity to keep on doing good things and not be distracted from what he needs to do in life. That's the blessing of material blessing in this world is to enable a person to continue doing great things. So he won't be too busy and his mind won't be busy thinking about other things and distracted and running from here to there and all over the place. So that's the blessing. So, but the reward is really in the next world. So he says, if we find that there's reward for the cup of wine in this world, like the first Mandiyama says that you're going to get reward in this world. Yom V'yom Daram B'Yerusha, you're going to get such inheritance in this world for saying Malay Berachos Hashem, for saying a bracha on a full cup of wine. Meaning we're talking about by a kol shel bracha. You're doing Birkat HaMazon, and it applies to Kiddush, Havdalah. That when you say the bracha on a full cup of wine, there's tremendous, tremendous reward. So if there's tremendous reward in this world, so you have to realize that there's definitely much more reward in the next world, because the next world, the Olam Haba, the paradise, living in paradise. What do I say paradise? Because paradise represents reward. It's in paradise. That's the next world. So that's, see, the people got it right when they call it paradise. They refer to the next world. So therefore, if we find that there's such great reward in this world for saying the bracha on a full cup of wine, there'll be such much more reward in what? In the next world. So I presume after we have some of these answers, I mean, Tosfos says a different answer. Yisrael answers because Yerusha, it could have said Yom V'Doram Rosh. Yerusha is the extra Yud and the Hey. Hashem created this world and the next world with the Hey. Yud and the Hey, he created Kibakah. He used the letters Yud and Hey to create this world and the next world. So therefore, that's the closest reason why you get this world and the next world. But just it's an amazing reward for being sensitive, doing the mitzvah with a full hand, doing the mitzvah, filling up the cup full. You do the mitzvah in a full way, Hashem will give you back. Mida connected me, then in a full way, you'll get reward in this world and the next world when you're careful about doing that. The Gemara now continues. We're now on the bottom of Nun Aleph Amar Aleph. Itur. We said that one of the things that you need to do for the kosher bracha is Itur. Itur is you wrap yourself. So what does it mean, Itur? Or Itur is like also like a crown, like, right? It's like a crown. Otel Yisrael, you crown Israel. So Itur, so he says, what does it mean, Itur? So the Gemara says, Shema Treyu. The Gemara says, Shema Treyu b'talmidim. That when you say the bracha on the cup of wine, when you go ahead and you do kiddush, Kiddush on a cup of wine, or Birkat HaMazon on the cup of wine, and you're saying the Birkat HaMazon holding the cup of wine, you have your Talmidim around you at the time you do the bracha. So if you make a circle of your students around you, when you make a circle of students around you, when you do the kosher bracha, that is very respectful. It's like it's surrounded. You surrounded the, you surrounded the kosher bracha, the cup that you're about to say, the Birkat HaMazon, you're surrounded with a group, with a circle of students around them. And Rav Chizda, what did Rav Chizda do? Ma'atele benatli. He surrounded it with cups of wine. Let's say this is the kosher bracha. So he had around the kosher bracha, he had around it cups of wine, circle of wine, circle of cups. And by having the circle of cups around it, and the Ritva says that these cups were also full with wine. So they were full with a cup of wine. And therefore that was a way of honoring the kosher bracha by putting cups around it. Then the Gemara says, and we're going to do the girsa, we'll follow the girsa of the Vilna Gaon, that the chai, it says it should be chai, it should be raw, undiluted, when you put the wine in the kosher bracha. So Amar Rav Sheshes ad birchas haaretz. You keep it undiluted until birchas haaretz. But once you come to birchas haaretz, you should go ahead and you should, once you get to the bracha of nodelecha, then you add water, you dilute it. And we said the idea about that is you want to show, you don't want to dilute the wine beforehand, you want to show how, but the bracha of nodelecha deals with you thanking Hashem for Eretz Yisrael. That's the bracha of nodelecha. Nodelecha Hashem asher chatalav asein eretz chemda. And you talk about the land of Israel, you conclude the bracha Baruch atah Hashem al haaretz v'al hamazon. So you want to show the great bracha that you have of the land of Israel. So you wait until you start the bracha of nodelecha. That's how Rashi learns. When you reach the bracha of nodelecha, then you add water to the cup of wine, and you show, because as a result of that, you're showing how strong the wine is, that the wine needs to be diluted. And that's what you do. And that's when you should add the water. Interesting, but that is what it says that the Svardim should, that's what the Shulchan Aruch says. In practice, the first opinion of Shulchan Aruch, the Mechaber says that you should go ahead and dilute it, you add water when you get up to the bracha of nodelecha. That's not the Ashkenaz minhag. But the Ashkenaz, it says that if the wine is not strong, you don't need to dilute it, and that's the custom in our countries. We don't dilute it, but we should. Now, what does it say for the Sfardim? What's their custom today? Let's see if he says. So he says that in the Yalkut Yosef, in the Yitzchak Yosef, we will address your question. He says there are those who have a custom in the Yalkut Yosef for Yitzchak Yosef. Some have a custom to dilute the cup with water before Birkat HaMazon, and then they again dilute it in the Birkat HaAretz, in nodelecha, but not at the beginning like Rashi says, but V'irachta es Hashem Elokecha. Sounds like V'irachta es Hashem Elokecha al oretz hatov asher nasan lach. Es, they add the water. Some, and then he says some don't dilute it beforehand. Rather, they wait until they reach the bracha the arts of nodelecha, and then they put in a little bit of water into the kos. Even if the wine is strong and you need to dilute it with a lot of water, they dilute it in the bracha of no dilacha. That's what some people do. But if you want to dilute it before Birkat Hamazon, you have a right, and then to dilute it a little bit in Birkat Haaretz. So we see different ideas in the Yalkut Yosef, in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch here, of what the Sfardim might be doing. So again, some dilute it before Birkat Hamazon, but then again they do some dilution in Birkat Haaretz. Some dilute, they don't do anything, they don't dilute it at all beforehand, and they only dilute it in the bracha of no delacha. It's definitely clear that everybody does at least some dilution in the bracha of no delacha. It seems to be that according to this, the custom of the Sfardim Akiva should be that when they get in somewhere in Nod, either before the beginning of Noda or at S of Nod, they should dilute, they should add water to the cup of wine. I don't know what the Sfardim in practice do, but that's what it sounds like. He says that they should do.
Isn't, Rabbi, all the idea of diluting also is like to put chasadim into the gevurot? I know we mentioned it before in the past, but that's always what's coming to my mind. Is not just like how strong or not strong and whatever it is, it's like the idea that we are aware, if you are studying Kabbalah or don't study Kabbalah or whatever you want to call it, you know about it, you heard about it, and I think one of the sources is this source.
Okay, could be. I mean, but you see, our Gemara was talking about diluting the wine to make the wine more drinkable. But like you said, there's many different maybe hidden ideas as well alluded to in this idea. Okay, beautiful. So we'll continue tomorrow. I want to wish everyone a great day. I want to thank everybody for being on. Shmullah, thank you for being on, for joining on. All the best to everyone. Yosef, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rabbi.
See you tomorrow.
I don't know.